Hey, you guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. So today I want to talk about what I've learned from hosting over 1,000 hours of The Ramsey Show. So if you're not familiar, The Ramsey Show is a caller-driven radio show, now podcast, that has been on the air for over 30 years. And we're actually on YouTube as well. So we record it live Monday through Friday afternoons right here in Franklin, Tennessee. And the original host was my dad and personal finance expert Dave Ramsey. And now it has additional 5 other co-hosts, including myself, that rotate in and out as we answer money questions, relationship questions, career questions from callers every single week. So if you've never listened, you should, because again, it is on the radio, of course, but also podcasts and YouTube. So make sure to check it out. So I have been hosting The Ramsey Show for several years now, and there is a lot that I have learned along the way. And there's definitely a few patterns that always come up time and time again. So today I want to share them with you here all in one place so that if you're wrestling through some of the same kind of challenges or roadblocks that I hear from callers, hopefully you can find some encouragement and maybe a practical way forward. So you're definitely not alone in this process. And remember, there's always hope. So let's dive in. The first thing that I have learned after hosting more than 1,000 hours of The Ramsey Show is that everyone is searching for margin. Yes, this shows up in a lot of different ways, but no matter the specific situation, almost every single caller is looking for advice on how to get more margin to accomplish their next money goal. So whether they're saving up for their starter emergency fund of $1,000, or if they're trying to pay off student loan debt or save up for cash for a car, everyone needs more money is what it feels like. And my answer to this dilemma is always the same, is that margin requires sacrifice. If you want to have more margin, then your game plan is pretty simple. You have to raise your income and cut expenses. Financial margin doesn't just appear out of thin air, so there's going to be some level of sacrifice that's inevitable. And it's all about finding a way to increase what you're bringing in, so that income side, and decreasing what you're spending. And this could look like picking up a side hustle on the weekends. Maybe it's cutting non-essential expenses for a period of time, like streaming services or gym memberships. Maybe it's cooking at home for a month and saving money on what would be restaurants or takeouts. Now, don't get me wrong, all these decisions, these are hard to make, especially if you're used to a certain standard of living. So it's going to sting a little at first, but once you've realized that true financial peace is on its way, and it's right there in front of you and you can get to it so quickly, these sacrifices feel way less difficult in the moment. But again, you have to be able to see, hey, I'm going to make these sacrifices for a period of time, and this is my end date. You want that end date. You don't want to do this forever, ever, amen. But you want to be able to see, okay, this is possible. And you guys, discipline creates margin. And I'm telling you, margin creates freedom. So the sacrifice is always worth it. The second thing that I have learned from hosting The Ramsey Show is that denial is a common struggle for people. A huge amount of calls that we get have some kind of denial or avoidance in the mix. And honestly, you guys, I get it. The truth is harder to hear sometimes, and people just want to be seen and heard. But again, the hard thing is ultimately the answer in the end, and I usually tell the caller what they already know the answer really is. And people tend to have an inkling about what the next step should be, but they also know it's going to be tough. And so they're making any last effort that maybe there's an easier way to their solution. But again, I'm going to just tell you, I'll save you the trouble. Typically, the hard thing is the right thing. So selling the car to pay off debt faster, saying no to an expensive vacation while you're still saving up for an emergency fund, whatever it is, trust your gut and make the hard decision. When you go ahead and start doing what you know you have to do, the light at the end of the tunnel comes faster. All right, before I go into the third thing, I want to tell you about my new favorite game. It's called Telestrations. So if you're looking for an affordable activity to do with your friends and family this weekend, you guys, buy Telestrations. For under $20, you can play as many times as you want and make lasting memories. I mean, who cares if you aren't a good artist? I'm terrible at it, but I'm telling you, it makes it even more fun. And it is so easy to learn. I mean, my friends and I, we love a game like Telestrations. So start making memories and buy Telestrations at Walmart or wherever you buy games. All right, the third thing that I've learned while hosting The Ramsey Show is that when it comes to money, relational issues are extremely common. And what I mean by this is that there's a lot of hesitation around making bold money decisions that is connected to people in your life. So whether it's a spouse that's not getting on board or a parent who doesn't respect how you're spending your money, the people we do life with can be a huge roadblock to our momentum. And I don't want to minimize this struggle because people matter. Community is a really important aspect of life. So it's painful when the people you love or the people you surround yourself with are making it more difficult for you to choose what is right for you and your money. So if you're facing this, I would encourage you to lean into communication. Be very clear, be direct, be confident communicating what you need in this season. And when you're honest and transparent, it disarms the critics and allows you to advocate for yourself in a really powerful way. And the people who truly love you will eventually come around and show up for you when they see you showing up for yourself. All right, the fourth thing that I have learned after hosting The Ramsey Show is that people love to think that they're the exception. I hear this excuse a lot of, well, my situation's different or my problem's really unique. But nope, I hate to break it to you, you're not that special. Like Taylor Swift sings in one of her new Vault songs, you're not the exception, you will never learn your lesson. Except we are gonna learn the lesson, you guys, okay? We are. Because the bad news is that your situation is not specifically special. We've seen it all. Common money mistakes, again, are very common for a reason. But that is why we have tools like the baby steps and Every Dollar and Financial Peace University to help every person in every walk of life take control of their money and experience financial freedom. And these things have been around for so long because they work. So learn your lesson early, lean on these resources that are trusted, and do the process, you guys. Do it. Okay, that brings me to the fifth and final thing that I've learned while hosting The Ramsey Show is that every single money problem could have been avoided if people knew about the baby steps sooner. And specifically the emergency fund, you guys. Oh my gosh, we've taken hundreds of calls of people who've gotten tangled up with credit card debt or bad investments or get-rich-quick schemes when they're in a bind and they don't have an emergency fund to rely on. So when you don't have a cushion like that, when you don't have money in the bank, it feels like you have no other choice but to make even worse financial decisions to get you into more of a mess. So listen, humans mess up, life happens, but it means that we want to be prepared for the future. So if you're not familiar with the concept of an emergency fund or the 7 baby steps, here's a quick overview, okay? You want a $1,000 emergency fund first and foremost. Then you're going to pay off debts. Once that's paid off, you're going to bump up your emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then you're going to invest 15% of your income into retirement. So you're going to fund kids' college. And then you're going to pay off your house early. And then baby step 7, the final step is to build wealth and be extremely generous. So all of these have in order, and we have talked to people that, if they've done this, and if they're on a budget, P.S., that's a big thing too, then a lot of these scenarios can be avoided. But life happens, and we're still going to take these calls, but usually going back to the baby steps is a tried or true way to win with money long term. All right, you guys, those are really the top 5 big overarching things that I have learned from hosting The Ramsey Show for more than 1,000 hours. And like I said, if you're listening to this or watching this and you feel like, golly, this is me and you're relating to it, you're definitely not alone. I've listened to a lot of money problems, but I've witnessed just as many successful stories that are full of joy and freedom when it comes to their money. So if you are ready to take control of your money, but you have no clue where to start, give Financial Peace University a try. FPU is a personal finance course that shows you step-by-step exactly what to do when it comes to getting rid of debt, saving, budgeting, and investing for the future. So you can join a class at RamseySolutions.com, and I'll leave a link in the description. And you can literally start today seeing progress with your money, so do it. And make sure to send this video to a friend who might be new to the idea of budgeting and saving money. All right, you guys, as always, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.